The Hidden Playbook, Unlocking the Secrets of Influence. What if I told you that every conversation, every interaction holds a hidden playbook, a secret language of influence waiting to be deciphered? We're often blind to the subtle cues and psychological forces at play, leaving us vulnerable and disempowered. But what if you could learn to read people, understand their deepest motivations, and even guide their actions without them ever realizing it? Prepared to dive into the unseen world of human behavior with a woman who mastered these skills in the shadows of power. Her name is Evy Poumpouras, a former U.S. Secret Service agent, and she's about to expose the electrifying techniques and untold stories from her time protecting presidents and navigating the most dangerous corners of the globe. Her insights aren't just for spies, they're for anyone ready to unlock their true potential and wield genuine influence. Beyond the bullet, when self-preservation dies. Forget what you think you know about security. When you become a Secret Service agent, every natural human instinct for self-preservation is utterly rewired. This isn't about taking cover, it's about becoming the shield. Imagine a firing range where instead of dodging, you're taught to jump in front of the bullet, to make yourself a larger target, a human barrier for the person you're protecting. It's a radical, almost incomprehensible shift in mindset. You're trained to discard your own life without a second thought. This isn't just about physical training, it's a deep psychological transformation that demands absolute selflessness. Operating in such an extreme environment, where life and death hang on every decision, shapes a person in profound ways. It strips away pretense and forces an understanding of human behavior at its rawest. For Evy, this intense crucible was where she forged her extraordinary ability to read people, to understand their fears, desires, and ultimately their breaking points. The Dominican deception, luring a ghost. Picture this. You're a Secret Service agent, and your mission isn't to chase down a suspect, but to lure a notorious Russian hacker out of his impenetrable stronghold. This wasn't a raid, it was a psychological ballet, a delicate dance of deception. Evy found herself in the sunny Dominican Republic, pretending to be the girlfriend of an NYPD detective, lounging by the pool, sipping virgin piña coladas. Their target, a high-value individual who preyed on the wealthiest in the U.S., operating from the safety of Russia. The plan was audacious. Convince him to fly to the U.S. willingly. How do you convince someone to abandon their sanctuary and walk into what could be a trap? You find their Achilles heel. For this particular target, it wasn't ideology or ego. It was pure, unadulterated greed. They spun a tale of immense wealth and effortless fraud in America, painting a picture of untold riches. Day after day they played the part, subtly feeding his avarice, watching for the signs that he was taking the bait. The tension was palpable. The entire operation hinged on their ability to expertly manipulate his deepest desire. Finally, just minutes before their private jet was set to depart, he showed. The Russian hacker, oblivious to the web of deceit, boarded the plane, sealing his fate with the promise of more money. The silent power. Why you talk too much. That high-stakes operation in the Dominican Republic wasn't just about a clever plan. It was a masterclass in understanding motivation. So often, we get it completely backwards when trying to influence others. The biggest mistake people make in persuasion, in sales, in leadership, is that they talk too much. Think about it. If you're doing all the talking, you're revealing everything about yourself, your values, your beliefs, your desires. But what are you learning about the other person? Nothing. The myth that the person doing most of the talking has control is utter garbage. The power lies with the listener. By simply shutting up and paying genuine attention, you give people the space to reveal their deepest motivations. Whether it's money, purpose, recognition, or something else entirely. People will show you what they care about if you just hold back and listen. You don't need to guess. They will tell you. Beyond being liked, the undeniable force of respect. In our pursuit of influence, we often fall into the trap of desperately wanting to be liked. But constantly trying to make people like you is a recipe for disaster. It shifts your focus from your actual goal to a far more complex and often futile endeavor. Evy discovered that in high-stakes environments and in everyday interactions, competence and respect are far more powerful currencies than mere likability. Imagine striving to be so good at what you do that people can't help but respect you. Show up on time, or even early. Follow through on every promise. Demonstrate your capabilities and be consistently reliable. These actions build an undeniable foundation of trust. And then there's warmth, a genuine, non-judgmental approach that shows you value the other person. You don't need them to be your friend. You need them to show respect. This means being open and approachable, listening without judgment, and seeing the world through their lens, not just your own. It's about making them feel heard, not about telling them what you think.
The uncomfortable truth, embracing conflict. No one likes conflict, but avoiding it is a guaranteed path to bigger problems. Many leaders struggle with addressing disrespect or underperformance, letting small issues fester until they explode. But conflict, when approached correctly, isn't about shouting. It's about debate and resolution. Think of the White House Cabinet Room, where top officials would fiercely debate policies, challenging each other's ideas without personal animosity. They were competing for the best outcome. The first step in addressing a breach of boundaries is to turn the mirror on yourself. What standards have you, as a leader, set that allowed this behavior to occur? Often we inadvertently create environments where lines can be crossed. The key is to be clear and firm with boundaries from the start. And when a boundary is crossed, you must address it immediately. Don't let it slide. Sit the person down, non-judgmentally, and ask them to walk you through what happened. Often, in the process of explaining, they'll realize their own mistake. It's not about checking them. It's about getting information to prevent future issues, and if necessary, rectify the situation. Ego versus reality, the internal battle. This is where it gets tricky, discerning whether someone has genuinely disrespected you or if your ego is simply feeling triggered. It's a common internal debate that often leads to inaction, and that inaction allows problematic behavior to become the norm. Evy, with her rigorous Secret Service training, learned to pause before reacting. Her initial instinct, shaped by growing up in Queens, might have been aggressive, but she learned to ask herself, is this person telling me something I need to hear? Or are they truly crossing a line? The key is to approach the situation with a poker face, showing no judgment and letting them speak. Often, as people talk through their actions, they'll self-correct. And leaders must lead by example. When Evy made a mistake, she owned it immediately, apologized, and asked how to fix it. This sets a powerful precedent. But sometimes, despite your best efforts, you might bring in an outlier, someone whose presence will destroy the fabric of your team. In those rare but crucial moments, you have to make the hard decision to remove them, because everyone else is watching, and their tolerance for bad behavior reflects directly on your leadership. The unseen threads of mastery. From dodging bullets to disarming hackers, Evy Poumpouras' journey reveals a profound truth. Mastery over others begins with mastery over yourself. Her unique insights highlight that true influence isn't about manipulation, but about understanding the intricate, often unseen threads that connect us all. It's about listening more than you speak, valuing competence over shallow charm, and embracing uncomfortable truths to build stronger connections. The art of reading people, understanding their motivations, and navigating conflict isn't just a skill for spies. It's a powerful toolkit for anyone who wants to navigate their relationships, career, and life with greater impact and purpose. What hidden truths about human connection will you uncover in your own life after hearing Evy's insights?